Welcome to today's news discussion. I'm Sarah, and joining me is Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. We're here to break down the latest news stories for you.
Let's start with the devastating earthquake that hit Colombia on Monday. The death toll continues to rise, and according to the Association of Colombian Capital Cities, it's becoming increasingly dire.
That's right. The latest reports indicate that the death toll has risen to at least 111 people, with widespread destruction across western Colombia. What can you tell us about the earthquake's magnitude?
The earthquake measured 7.4 on the magnitude scale, making it one of the strongest recorded in Colombia in the 21st century. The Geological Service of Colombia reported that it was followed by several aftershocks, which likely exacerbated the damage.
That's quite a significant earthquake. Were there any specific areas that were particularly affected?
Yes, the reporting highlights that dozens of cities and towns in western Colombia were impacted. Mayors and governors from areas like Cali, Pereira, Choco, and Manizales reported at least 179 deaths in those four regions alone, which is higher than the federal government's initial count of 111.
So there's a discrepancy between the local and federal death toll numbers. Do we know why that is?
The discrepancy likely stems from the fact that local authorities have had more time to assess the damage in their specific areas, whereas the federal government's count may not have been updated as recently. The article suggests that the federal government last updated its estimates in the hours immediately following the earthquake.
That makes sense. The search and rescue efforts are ongoing, and I've seen reports that over 3,000 people are still missing. Can you confirm that?
Yes, that's correct. The search efforts resumed on Tuesday, and the numbers are quite alarming. Over 3,000 people are reported missing, with many believed to be trapped under debris. Rescue workers are actively searching through the rubble.
Wow, that's a staggering number. What's the situation like on the ground in terms of rescue efforts and infrastructure damage?
The reports indicate that around 1,600 buildings were damaged or collapsed. Rescue teams are working tirelessly to locate those trapped and provide aid to the affected areas. The scale of the destruction is massive, and it's a challenging task.
How are the local authorities and governments responding to this crisis?
The local authorities are actively involved in the rescue efforts, working alongside federal agencies. Mayors and governors are on the ground, assessing the damage and coordinating relief efforts. The reporting highlights their efforts to reach remote and affected areas.
It's clear that the situation is dire, but it's reassuring to see the coordinated response. Are there any specific challenges that the rescue teams are facing?
One of the challenges mentioned is accessing some of the remote and unchecked areas. The terrain is difficult, and the extent of the damage in these areas is not yet fully understood. This is likely contributing to the discrepancy in the death toll numbers.
That's a significant concern. The unchecked areas could potentially hide a lot of unseen damage and casualties.
Exactly. The reporting emphasizes that the full extent of the damage is still being assessed, and it's likely that the numbers will continue to rise as more information becomes available.
What's being done to support the affected populations in the short and long term?
The articles mention that rescue efforts are ongoing, with a focus on providing aid to those affected. However, the long-term recovery plans are not detailed in the reporting so far.
Okay. So to sum up, we have a massive earthquake in Colombia with a rising death toll, extensive damage, and a significant number of people still missing. The rescue efforts are ongoing, with challenges in accessing remote areas.
That's right. And it's a developing story, so we'll likely see more updates as the situation unfolds.
Well, that's a comprehensive overview of the situation. Thanks for walking us through it, Sarah.
Thanks, Sean. That's all for today's discussion on the Colombia earthquake. We'll continue to follow this story.
Goodbye, and see you later.
See you later.